In most games that you've played, it's very much likely that you've seen Spritesheet animations, basically not just a static image all the time, but images get animated. That's how most games work. So in this lesson, we are going to look into implementing Spritesheet animations in our game. The first thing I want to show you is what Spritesheets look like. Per phaser, you need to have the different frames of your animation. It doesn't matter in which order they're placed, but they all need to have the same width and the same height. Basically, these are all the chickens. They have the same width. There can be a separation between them, but it needs to be always the same. So I have the chicken here, I have the horse, and I have all of them. You can find them on the assets folder, and I've named them underscore Spritesheet. You can name them however you want. So what we'll do in this lesson is basically replace the existing images by the Spritesheets, and also define our animation and play our animation. So this is what we had before. It was loading each one of the images as a standalone image. What we do now is use this.load.spritesheet. Then we create a different type of object. We specify also a key that we'll use this to refer to this Spritesheet in the future, and the image file, and then we specify the width, the height, and how many frames there are. There are 3 frames in all of them. If we want to define a certain animation, we can do so, and we have to say which ones of the frames will be played in which order. Frames start from here. This is frame 0, this is frame 1, this is frame 2. So, if you scroll down, when we created each one of our sprites, of our animal sprites, I'm also going to create an animation for each one of them. So, that animation, I will add it to that sprite, and then we can play it. So this works as follows: animal.animations.add, and then we give this animation a name. I'm gonna call it animate. Very not original. What frames are there gonna be in the animation? How is it gonna go? It's gonna start by frame 0, then it's gonna show frame 1, then frame 2, then frame 1, then frame 0, then frame 1. And this is going to be played at 3 frames per second. And it's not going to loop. If you say that it's going to loop, it's going to keep on playing on forever. This is just going to play once. We've created our animation, and in our method animate sprite, we receive the sprite here. Before we were just doing console.log, but now we're going to do sprite.play. And then the name of the animation. We've given it the name animate. Remember that we are capturing input in our animal, and then on input down, we're calling animate animal. So that's all we're doing here. Let me reload this page and click on the horse. As you can see, we can have the animation shown. A quick last minute add-on, something I forgot to mention, which is important. We're loading now these things as Spritesheets. So how do we go about creating the sprites for them? Well, it works exactly the same as we already did with the images. The only difference is that, so this is the exact same thing we had before, but the only difference is that we add an additional parameter which refers to the frame. So before you play your animation, the frame that we're seeing is actually frame 0. You could change that. It could be, say, frame 2. And now, well, let me try the 0 again, so you see that it's not the same one. See that the mouth was open in this one and not in the other one. Or we could try also frame 1. So that's how we go. That's how we create the sprites. It works in the exact same way in all aspects, in all of them, except for this fact that we specify a specific frame.